So now that XDEFIANT's been out for a couple days, there's actually a few things I do want to talk about this game, because I think that there's two glaring issues that need to be talked about. One of them being that this game lacks its own identity so far, which I don't like because it's just constantly compared to Call of Duty, and two, people saying that snipers are overpowered because they are fucking not. And I'm also level 40, so I've put in a pretty sizable amount of time on this game because I didn't really get to play during double XP. So, but I think I mentioned in my last video about XDEFIANT, I just said, you know, like, this game is so closely compared to Call of Duty, and I just don't think it's fair. Obviously, every single first-person shooting game is going to be compared to the most popular first-person shooter game. Obviously, that's just a given. But like I also said, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be a Call of Duty killer. It's not going to be a Call of Duty killer. That's what everybody was hoping when it was supposed to come out before Modern Warfare 3. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be the Call of Duty killer, you know, this is going to dethrone Call of Duty. That's not the point. I don't think that was the point to begin with when this game was in development. I don't think that was the plan the whole time. I think it was just to have a fun, arcadey first-person shooter. So this game lacking its own identity and only being compared to Call of Duty is only going to hurt it in the long run. And that is literally just a fact. You can't change that. That is just how it's going to be perceived. That is how it's going to be seen. And it really sucks because I think this game is great. I've seen a lot of tweets that were like, oh, it's just like a port of a mobile game onto PC, or something like, oh, it's just going to be a throwaway first-person shooting game. Which, like I said, I totally disagree with that take. I think that take is fucking ridiculous, to be honest, because this game is actually very fun. And I wasn't in the game long enough to do anything, so Jinzle ran around. So this game needs to have its own identity, because being compared to Call of Duty is only going to make its downfall even worse. It's going to be a literal throwaway first-person shooter like people are saying that it already is. And I just think that's just not fair. I think that this game deserves a fair shot at being something that people can play in the meantime, even if people bounce between this and Call of Duty. Like myself, I'm a first-person shooter gamer. These are like my favorite genres to play. My ACR is almost 50, so hopefully next game we get to use it and we'll hit 50 with that as well. That'll be my first one. And I think I also said in my last video how this game is already in a lane of its own. It's an arcadey shooter. It doesn't feel anything like Call of Duty. And I think the reason that people have an issue with it is because it doesn't feel like Call of Duty. So everybody that has an issue with it is basically just angry at the fact that it is nothing like Call of Duty. Like, the settings don't feel like Call of Duty. You can't really make the game feel like Call of Duty, which is fine. That's also probably the objective, is to not have it feel exactly like a Call of Duty port to a different game. Like, people can't just have fun. Or it's like, you know, you play Fortnite versus Warzone and you're like, oh, well, this isn't like Fortnite or this isn't like Warzone. It's like, because they're two different fucking games. It is the same thing as XDEFIANT, because this game was not meant to be Call of Duty. This game is meant to be XDEFIANT. Whatever the fuck XDEFIANT is, it's meant to be XDEFIANT. It's supposed to be in a lane of its own. It's supposed to have its own identity. And like I said 6 times already, it's only gonna hurt the game if people can't give this game its own fair shot. People are like, oh, it has game modes just like Call of Duty. No shit, because how much more can you do in a first-person shooter game? It's like, you have to have game modes. You can't just have everything be team deathmatch and search and destroy. People said the same thing about certain modes in Call of Duty. It's like, oh, they're stealing this from Battlefield. It's like, again, no shit. See, even that sniping, that is not overpowered. That is my fault for continuing to peek the same corner. And that will bring me to my next point about sniping being overpowered. People think that sniping is overpowered in this game because it is a one-shot kill, for the most part. I've gotten a lot more hit markers as of late with the TAC 50, which didn't make me very happy. But sniping in this game feels overpowered because the health pool is kind of high. It's not exactly 150 HP, but it is kind of high. It's not your regular, I guess, Call of Duty. I hate that I'm going to make this comparison after just talking about how it shouldn't be compared to Call of Duty, but because it's not the same as Call of Duty. People think because people don't die in 4 bullets, it's just overpowered. Like, sniping just doesn't deserve to have a place in this game, which again is wrong. And because you have to put so many more bullets into people, everybody thinks that, you know, getting one-shotted is just totally overpowered and totally out of the question, and it shouldn't exist in the game, which again is incorrect. Just because you dump an entire magazine into somebody just to get 1 kill does not mean that getting one-shotted is absolutely 100% overpowered and needs to be nerfed. Because I've seen the argument 100 times already where it's like, oh, well, sniping needs to be nerfed. It's so overpowered. What do you think snipers are supposed to do? They're supposed to be a bullet that is this fucking big that shoots you in the head and you die. Just like some of the ARs in this game, you could make the argument that the AK is overpowered, that the ACR that I'm using right now is overpowered. The gun with the fastest TTK might be overpowered. That might be overpowered. If it kills you faster than every other weapon in the game, there's a fair shot that that gun is overpowered. overpowered. Getting one-shotted by a sniper rifle, which takes so much more skill than just shooting 15 bullets out of an AR, should not even be remotely classified as overpowered. And again, it's the same argument that we go through with Call of Duty every single year, year over year. Oh, sniping's so overpowered. This sniper's so overpowered. It's like, no, it's not overpowered. You just suck at it. They refuse to understand that. It's like, I can tell you when I'm garbage at something, but people just have too much pride. They won't say that. They won't say, oh, I'm just bad at it, so I haven't given it enough time, so I'm just not that good at it. This guy was clearly better than me. People have too much pride to just admit that. It is so much easier to just admit it and just move on. People just jump to so many conclusions. People just say shit's so overpowered and it's this and it's that and it's this and it's that. Like I said, people get dumpstered in this game and they are immediately just like, well, that's not how it would be in Call of Duty, or oh, it works differently in this game. It's like, no shit, because that is a literal different fucking game. We just continuously just shoot ourselves in the foot as just an entire gaming community where, like, we can't just enjoy things. I don't understand why everything needs to be immediate competition. Things can't succeed next to each other. Same thing as Fortnite and Call of Duty back in 2017. It's like, oh, well, Call of Duty's gonna die because Fortnite's so much more fun. It's like, okay, then go play Fortnite if you think it's that much better. Who the fuck cares? Like, if you're having more fun playing a different game, go play that other game. And just because something's popular, hating on it doesn't make you right. Just admit when you're bad at it, put in the time, and get better at it. It's so straightforward. It is so simple. Competition makes things better. Competition helps in every single way. It helps both sides get better. If you have 2, 3, 5 things competing, but it makes each contender in the competition just want to keep stepping the game up, so everybody kind of wins and everything gets better. That's just how competition works. Call of Duty and XDefiant shouldn't be in competition, just like Call of Duty and Battlefield shouldn't be in competition. Warzone and Fortnite shouldn't be in competition. I don't know, I just don't get the angle where people are just so mad at XDefiant because it's not like Call of Duty, but they're just constantly comparing it to Call of Duty. It's like, just let the game be its own goddamn game. You're having fun playing Call of Duty, play Call of Duty. If you're having fun playing XDefiant like myself, which I love both of them. I'm a huge fan of XDefiant and Call of Duty. I love Modern Warfare 3. You guys know this. Just because you think you're right does not make you right. I usually use the MP7 on this map, but I'm going to use the ACR. Just because we're so close to level 50. I just want to get like the 3 kills it's going to take to get me to 50, and then I'm just going to use the MP7. There it is, level 50. Woo, got my 2 kills, and now it's 50. If you guys happen to enjoy today's video, feel free to leave a like on it. It really helps out the channel. I know I didn't really say a whole lot in that last game there, but I kind of think I said my piece, and I'm also still sweating. But anyway, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and it is Bitty Boy Jinzle. I will see you beautiful people in the next video. I love you guys so much. Peace out, everybody. Fucking dude, rap god, holy fuck.